Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be going over my top 3 combinations of color correctors and concealers. This is stuff that I've been grabbing over and over and over again, and that works really well underneath my eye area. Stuff that I use, stuff that I recommend, stuff that if I were to get rid of everything, this is what I would repurchase. So let's jump right into the list. We're going to start off with color correctors, and I'm going to tell you exactly what concealers I pair each color corrector with. So the first one is the Sigma Spectrum Color Correcting Duo. I personally use the shade medium to dark. They have 3 different shades to choose from, and each one has 2 different color correcting shades within them. I really love this corrector. As you can clearly see, I'm going to need to purchase a new one here soon because I'm running a little low. This one is a full coverage color corrector. You're not really going to need much product when you place this underneath the eyes. I like to mix both shades in order to get the most out of color correcting with this product. It wears beautifully with my Pacifica Dream Lit Glow Concealer. With this particular concealer, I always mix 2 different shades. I have to. They just don't have a wide shade range, unfortunately, because the concealer is so good. The formula is so good. I use the shade number 9 and number 7. I do 2-to-1 ratio. I do twice as much number 9 as I do number 7, and that usually suits my complexion really spot on. I apply it with my little powder puff, my triangular powder puffs. I love these things. They are reusable. You can wash these and you can use them over and over and over again. I love the way that they blend out the under eye area, and it just looks gorgeous. Because I'm wearing the Sigma corrector underneath it and the corrector already corrected so much, I don't need a lot of concealer in order to finish off the under eye area. It works beautifully. It looks gorgeous. And I just love the combination. Another concealer that I love to use with the Sigma corrector is, of course, my Faux Filter concealer from Huda Beauty. I use the shade 3.5, which is Sugar Biscuit. Just applying that with the triangular powder puff. It is my preferred method of applying any type of concealer onto the under eye area. I just feel like you get a much smoother application. You don't use as much product, and everything just looks nice and even. I love blending out the under eye area with the powder puffs. You get full coverage with very little product, and it looks great all day long. Now the finish on this one is a matte radiant finish, but I still set both of the concealers, and I set them using my Oma Beauty Trip and Smooth setting powder in the shade Light. Just a little bit of that goes a long way. Because it is a matte radiant concealer, you don't necessarily need to set them heavy, but I do love using my Trip and Smooth setting powder because it allows the under eye area to look really nice and smooth, and it'll last all day long. The concealers are not going anywhere. They're locked in place, and they just look really nice all day long and provide full coverage. Next on my list is the Smashbox and Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This one is in the shade medium. That is what I use. I really like it. They have 4 different shades to choose from, and I really love this one in particular. It not only brightens the under eye area, but it also color corrects quite nicely. And if you are looking for something that's going to be a very hydrating color corrector, something that's going to allow the under eye area to stay nice and hydrated, this is going to be your best bet. It is quite emollient, it stays in place, and I can place it underneath my matte concealers, my more drying concealers. Those types of formulas work really well on top of this particular color corrector. It not only color corrects the under eye area, but it also brightens it a little bit more, and so you don't need as much product on top. I personally love to use this with the new Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. This one is really nice. I have the shade P4. This is supposed to pull a little bit more peach, but on me, it just looks a little bit more yellow. Don't love the shade, so I might actually purchase a different shade because I really do love the formula. It's very high in coverage, you don't need a lot, and it blends out beautifully again with my triangular powder puffs. I love those things. It lasts all day, it looks great, and you can also wear this on its own and it still looks really, really nice. It has a matte radiant finish, so you don't necessarily have to set this concealer, although I always do. I personally do set it because of the shade. That's the only reason why I grab my Huda Beauty Easy Big Powder. I use the shade Cherry Blossom in that particular powder, which is not only going to help to tone down the yellowness of this particular concealer shade, but it is also going to help to brighten and to further color correct the under eye darkness. I also really love to use this corrector with my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. Again, this is a matte radiant formula, so I love using it for the same reason that I love using my High Glam concealer from Natasha Denona. It looks great, does not look dry, conceals really, really well. And to set it, I usually use my Oma Beauty Trip and Smooth setting powder or my Huda Beauty Easy Big Powder. And the last color corrector that I have is the e.l.f. Camo Color Corrector. I love this formula. It's very, very nice and light. It's not as hydrating as the other two formulas that I just mentioned, but it does a really good job of color correcting the under eye area. It neutralizes the darkness. It's peach, so it's not orange, it's not red, it's not going to bleed through your concealer, but it does color correct really well. Now, if you're of a deeper complexion, then they also carry the shade orange. And if you're somewhere in between or you're not really sure, I recommend grabbing them both. It doesn't hurt to have them both because you can customize your shade in order to suit your complexion throughout the entire year. And they're very inexpensive. The formula is very, very thin, nice and light, nothing heavy whatsoever. So it is perfect for those no makeup type of days. They last all day and I get really nice coverage with them. I love using these alongside my Pacifica Dreamlit Glow Concealers. I also will use these with my Faux Filter Concealer. What don't I use that concealer with? This guy is just, it's been my number one for a while. And I like to set these with my Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Powder. I have the shade Translucent, which isn't your typical translucent shade. I feel like it's a little bit yellow, but you can't really see it. This really, the consistency and the fineness of it reminds me of the Trip and Smooth setting powder. They are very, very identical. I would almost venture to say that this is kind of a dupe for this one. Now, this one definitely leaves the under eye looking a bit more smooth than this one, but this one's a very, very close second. And I really have been enjoying using this to set the under eye area with because, like I said, it just acts a lot like my Trip and Smooth setting powder. And it's from the drugstore. It's Milani. You know you're getting something top notch with them, you know? So highly, highly recommend these powders, highly recommend these concealers and these color correctors. If you were to ask me to just pick like my top 3 color correctors, my top 3 concealers, and my top 3 setting powders, these would be it. These would be it. Now, an honorable mention that I have to bring into the mix is the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. It brightens up the under eye area really, really nicely, and it doesn't look excessive. It doesn't look like too much. It doesn't look too highlighted. It doesn't look too powdery like chalk. It brightens it up enough. Now, can you overdo it? Absolutely, but I venture to say that you'd have to put a lot of this on in order to overdo it. I really, really like it. It's from Essence. It's from the drugstore. You can't go wrong with it. I really hope that they come out with perhaps like a pink powder, a pink pressed powder. That would be awesome. But this banana powder, it's really good. It's really good. So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. All of those things really do help out my channel, and I appreciate you all so much for doing that, for taking the time to like, subscribe, comment, share, anything that you want to do. I appreciate you very, very much. If you do choose to leave a comment, make sure that you let me know what combinations have been working for you. What have you been liking so far this year? Or what have you been liking lately? Sometimes you guys leave combinations that I would have never, or suggestions that I would have never considered before. And then I see it and I'm like, oh my, and I'm blown away. That's happened a few times. So let me know what you guys are liking down below. Thank you all so much for watching once again. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.